Good afternoon, Emirian. This is Dr. Khan. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Breathe Well with Adwelle. As we know, the world is facing a dangerous threat from the COVID-19 pandemic. This virus causes respiratory failure. It has infected over 100 million people and growing, and has brought about 2.5 million deaths as we speak. Vaccines have been released, but it may not be the final solution yet, as the virus keeps mutating. As of record, there isn't just one or two variants, but a staggering 4,000 variants, which raised doubt even among the scientists over the efficacies of the vaccines. Hence, understanding the onset of the respiratory disorder could help ourselves away from the virus. Let's start with the question, what is respiratory health? Respiratory disease is a type of disease that affects not only the lungs, but also other parts of the respiratory system, such as the lower and upper respiratory tract. Respiratory diseases include asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or COPD, pulmonary fibrosis or hardening of the lung, and lung cancer. About 65 million people suffer from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and 3 million die from it each year, making it the third leading cause of death worldwide. About 334 million people suffer from asthma, which is the most common chronic disease of childhood, affecting 14% of all children globally. Respiratory diseases have long been neglected and only gained tremendous attention recently due to COVID-19, which attacked the respiratory system. Recent research, however, has had an interesting finding that respiratory diseases are actually closely related to our gut or digestive system. I know you must be asking, what does the digestive system have to do with our lungs? Well, let's answer that question with the understanding of the digestive system. The digestive system is a very important system in our body. It helps provide sufficient nutrients needed by ourselves to survive. Digestions of our food start from our mouth that travel down to our stomach, and the nutrients from food are too large to be absorbed right away. Thus, the digestive system is important in breaking down the food so that our system can absorb the nutrients well and provide it to the cells. Aside from taking in nutrients, the digestive system is also important in eliminating toxins from the body. About 70 to 80% of our toxins are eliminated through our feces, and disruptions of this system may cause toxins to pile up in our body and lead to diseases. Digestive health is important in maintaining the ecologies of the microflora in the gut. These bacteria provide essential nutrients, defense against pathogens, break down indigestible substances, and even contribute to the development of the gut structure. Most importantly, digestive health helps in strengthening our body's immunity. About 70% of our immune system dwell in our digestive tract in the form of gut-associated tissue. Therefore, a good digestive health helps lead to good immunity. There are two important factors that affect our digestive health, and these are enzymes and microflora. Digestive enzymes help break down food for better absorption. Insufficient digestive enzymes will lead to improper digestion of food particles, which will then pass down to the colon, where they will putrefy, forming toxins. This creates an environment favorable to the growth of bad bacteria and produce large amount of metabolite waste, which may then induce inflammations to the intestinal wall and causes leaky gut syndromes. Leaky gut syndromes increases the permeability of the gut barrier, hence allowing the permeabilities of toxin, pathogens, and other antigens that can harm the body. Current scientific evidence suggests that leaky gut may contribute to a range of medical conditions. A research as early as 1977 shows that the loss of gut barrier functions can lead to multiple organ failure. Another factor that affects our digestive health is our gut microbiome. Microbiome refers to the trillions of microscopic microbes that live in the digestive tract, commonly known as the gut, which then form the microbial community. Interestingly, these microbes outnumber your human cells by 10 to 1. In short, we are 10% human and 90% microbial, making us more microbe than human. There are up to 1,000 species of bacteria in the human gut microbiome, and each of them plays a different role in our body. Thus, a perfect balance of our gut microbiome is extremely important in maintaining our health. Microbiome may even affect our gene expressions, which controls our physiological behaviors. Human beings are actually superorganisms. Our mammalian cells contribute about 25,000 genes, whereas our microbiome contributes about 10 million genes. Human cells and microbes and its genes are interreacted to keep this microbiome balanced. Our entire body's microbiome can communicate with each other and can even relocate to other organs. Research shows that gut microbiome can communicate and influence the activity of our brain and lungs through gut-brain axis and gut-lung axis. This inter-organ crosstalk of microbiome is through the migrations of the microbiome or their metabolites such as short-chain fatty acid. Let's focus more on the gut-lung axis today. Multiple studies have addressed the impacts of gut and lung microbiome on chronic respiratory diseases such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, asthma, and cystic fibrosis. According to studies, patients with chronic respiratory disease are 2 to 3 times more likely to have gastrointestinal issues, while over half of inflammatory bowel disease patients display pulmonary involvement. This is a prime example where the metabolites migrate via the gut-lung axis, and it signifies a close relation between gut and lung. There is also emerging evidence that gut microbiome play a role in lung diseases through the modulations of systemic immune responses, which leads to inflammation. As we know, chronic inflammatory diseases such as asthma, COPD, causes obstructions of the airways. Thus, balancing the ecologies of the microbiome in the gut can reduce the allergic and inflammatory responses in the lung, which help elevate or prevent pulmonary diseases. In fact, gut microbiome not only affects the lungs. According to research, many diseases are associated with microbiome perturbation such as depression, autism, obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, or even cancer. A disturbance of the microbiome is one of the major causes of diseases, which causes inflammation and is thought to be part or all of the etiologies of many diseases. Hence, the best way to keep away from respiratory diseases as well as other common diseases is to restore the digestive health. In order to do so, we require 3 important ingredients. Number 1, enzymes. Enzymes help reduce toxin formation and prevent leaky gut. They are also crucial in rebuilding an optimum environment for microbiome in the gut. Number 2, prebiotics. Prebiotics is the food for good bacteria. We can enhance the growth of good bacteria by feeding them the right food. Growing of good bacteria helps to balance the ecologies of gut microbiome as well as microbiome in other parts of the body, such as lung. Number 3, natural anti-inflammatory agent, such as bromelain, is important to reduce the inflammations in the body, as many diseases are caused by massive and chronic inflammation. Adwelle could be the best choice, as it contains these 3 essential ingredients. Adwelle is made up of fruits and grains that are rich in nutrients as well as natural enzymes. It contains 5 categories of important enzymes, namely lipase for breaking down of fats, protease for breaking down of protein, amylase for breaking down of starch, antioxidant enzymes for scavenging of free radicals, and fibrinolytic enzymes for dissolving of blood clot in the body. It is also added with prebiotic. This functional oligofructose is a water-soluble fiber that can promote the growth of beneficial bacteria such as bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, and effectively inhibit the proliferations of harmful bacteria. It also helps balance the gut microbiome, regulate the intestinal pH to provide an optimum environment for the gut microbiome. Our studies show that Adwelle can increase the good bacteria, lactobacillus, up to 9.6%, hence proving that it is able to feed the bacteria well. Another study on Adwelle showed that it improved intestinal health by increasing water content in the feces, enhance peristalsis, promote bowel discharge, and elevate constipation, thus reducing the toxin deposition in the intestines. In other words, Adwelle has created an optimum environment for the microbiome to show such great improvements. Adwelle also contains bromelain, a natural anti-inflammatory agent with enhanced anti-inflammatory effect. This is because Adwelle is made with a patented technology, namely BioEnz and SMART, which enhance the enzyme activities up to 470%. Our studies show that Adwelle can effectively reduce inflammation. A study was done where test subjects were introduced to inflammations for 20 minutes, and the inflammatory index, which was the amount of inflammation, was measured for both control and experimental group. The control groups show an inflammation index of 151 after the introductions of inflammation, and dropped to 134 after 12 hours. The experimental group, however, show an astonishing inflammation index of near 124, which is lower than the control group's index after 12 hours. This goes to show that Adwelle possesses anti-inflammatory properties. Another important features of Adwelle is its anticoagulatory capacity. Adwelle can dissolve the blood clot quite effectively. This feature is important, particularly in COVID-19 prevention, because COVID infection cause massive inflammation and an increase in blood clot or thrombosis. Adwelle, with its excellent anti-inflammatory properties and anticoagulant capacity, can reduce the inflammation and blood clot formation effectively, thus helping in COVID prevention. Keen attention should be given to long-neglected respiratory health, simply because it is impossible to control the pathogens present in the air we breathe. The consequences of COVID infection may be detrimental, not only physically, but also mentally. Apart from vaccinations, we must also strengthen our immunity through natural methods. The solution is here. Adwelle, with its highly active enzymes, prebiotics, and enhanced anti-inflammatory agents, can help restore the microbiome in gut, reduce inflammation, and enhance immunity, thus keeping our lungs and our overall well-being healthy. Act now to protect yourself, your family, and the people around you that you love. Stay happy, stay simple, and breathe well with Adwelle. Thank you.